Hello, Speedway parents. My name is Rick Rosebrough, and I'm the principal at Speedway Junior High School, and coming to you with a video a little different this year with our open house format. As you probably know, a lot of things have changed, and one of those is we have to do our open house via Zoom, or I should say videos that you'll be receiving from each of our teachers. So I thought I would do a little introduction video to introduce myself, talk about a few things going on here at the junior high. So again, this is a different format than we're used to with our open house, and hopefully this will be beneficial to you. What you can expect from the videos from our teachers should be a little bit about their class and their expectations for your students. You get to put a face with each of those teachers, hopefully, and maybe talk about things like grading procedures, some of the things that they're going to require from your students, materials maybe you'll need or the students will need, and even what the books look like, etc. So hopefully it'll be a nice introduction so that you have a better feel for what your students are going through here at the junior high after you see those videos from each of the teachers. We should be able to get those out to you via your emails, and hopefully you won't have any problem accessing those. Of course, if you do, make sure that you call us here at the junior high. We've had a great start to this school year, I think, especially considering the circumstances that we're all trying to get used to. I want you to understand that your child's safety is number one priority. We have many different precautions in place for that. And I know you've seen those through various emails and postings on our websites with masks, etc. We're doing our best to follow the Marion County guidelines. And again, child safety is number one priority. I think we've been off to a great start with that. It is different. And I just want to thank you for your patience and your understanding as we all go through this. I know some of the things we're requiring are not comfortable. They're different. They're hard on us. They're hard on the teachers. They're hard on parents. They're hard on the kids. But again, we're doing our very best to make it as doable as possible. Things change, as you know, almost weekly. Some of the situations with keeping kids home and some of the symptoms that change. And so we're trying to stay on top of those. And again, just bear with us as we get through these trying times. But we're off to a really good start. The kids are resilient and they're doing a great job. So that's something very positive that's going on here at the junior high. There are a couple things I just want to touch on. I don't want to take a lot of time. I know you'd rather be watching the teachers and hearing about their classes, but a few things that we could maybe use your help, just making sure that you're reinforcing with your child. And one of those is, again, the mask situation, making sure that they do bring a mask. I have provided masks. We will continue to provide masks for those who forget them, and sometimes the little strings will break or whatever, and we do have extras. But if you could help us reinforce that, make sure that kids bring them and talk to them about how important it is that they wear them, and pretty much all day long, unless they're eating or certain circumstances, they do have those on all day long with us. So if you could help us with that, we'd appreciate that. Also social distancing, mainly before and after school. Kids like to group up and talk, and I understand that, and we do our best. But if you could talk to keep them apart, but if you could talk to them a little bit about making sure they start moving toward home right away, not gather on the porches. And if they get here a little bit early, again, remind them to kind of keep the distance. Mr. Grove and myself are out. Usually we try to get out every morning and try to remind them of that. But again, social distancing is another thing we could use your help with, just reinforcing that, talking to your students about it. They are doing a great job right now, but we have to continue to do that until things change. Dress code. If you could help us a little bit again in that area, some of the shorts are getting a little short, and some of the tops need to be covering the shoulders, and some of the things, the guidelines that we have in the handbook. If you again could just help us maybe tighten that area up just a little bit. The last thing I want to do is be a fashion policeman and make those phone calls home. So if you could help us out, it would be very greatly appreciated in that area. Again, it's not a major concern at all. It's just another area that I'd like to reinforce that you could help us out in. And lastly, just another little area, and that is the pickup and drop-off procedures. We've had a few suggestions, and we've put some cones out. We've tried to make it as easy as possible. Patience, I think, is the key word. If we all can stay in line, especially during drop-off, not get out of those lines as we drop the students off. It should take more than a minute or two to get everyone dropped off. And again, picking up is not quite as bad because we go out the back and the front of the building. But if you could, again, just patience, and stay in those lines, adhere to where the cones are, I think it'll be more smoothly operate than if we didn't have the cones there or whatever. So if you could help us in those areas, we'd really appreciate it. Last thing I want to really talk about are the 3 rules that we run our school by. And I know you have a handbook and there's a lot of rules in there, but I try to sum up the 3 rules for our students. And I tell them that if they follow these, they'll have a successful career here in the 2 years they're here at our junior high. And these are pretty simple rules. The first one is to do all your work. I'm talking to kids about that's a life lesson. It's a lesson we've all had to learn about doing our work, and it's important when they're here that they do all of their work, make an effort so teachers can see where they need help. I tell the students it's hard to look at a blank piece of paper and try to help you if we haven't made an effort. So do all your work is rule 1. Rule 2, do what adults tell you to do. We're not going to mistreat your children. Well, I tell the students that we will never ask them to do something unreasonable, but if certain rules are to be adhered in the classroom and the teacher said that, raise your hand, for example, before you yell at an answer, that's a rule. We want to follow it. We're not going to get in arguments with students. The adults are going to run the building, and we don't need to get in debates about those rules. And so doing what adult tells you to do would be rule number 2. Rule number 3 is to keep your hands, feet, and unwanted comments to yourself. Pretty self-explanatory with the hands and the feet. We don't touch people in an aggressive manner. We don't push and shove. Obviously, that's just strictly forbidden. Those are non-negotiable situations. The unwanted comments is unfortunately with the internet and Snapchat and Instagram, those type of things. That's something that we also want to definitely enforce. And so that's rule number 3 with the hands, the feet, unwanted comments. Keep those to yourself. And you'll again have a successful school year. So do all your work, do what adults say to do, keep your hands, feet, and unwanted comments to yourself. Do those things. We're going to have a successful career here at the junior high. So once again, I just sum up here that we are off to a great start. And I just want to thank you for your support and for letting us work with such amazing students every single day. You have great kids and we enjoy working with them. Thank you.